Gourmet, poor man. Poor man, gourmet. Poor man and gourmet. They can work. This is Poor Man's Meals. Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Poor Man's Meals. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get right into it. I was thinking to myself the other day, I said, Self?
Leave us alone! We don't want any of it!
Why are you hiding in a cave?
The camera! It burns us!
Where are you? Come out here, please.
I'm not listening.
Whatever, alright, fine, whatever. Today, we're making a gourmet pork loin roast. Yeah, that's right, gourmet. It's like I said, Poor Man's Meals meets gourmet. It can work, and this is how it's gonna work. Alright, for starters, we're gonna need a pork roast, but we have to butterfly it, so we're gonna need a little bit of help.
Alright, first we're gonna get a nice cut of pork loin roast. This is the chef's prime, usually the tail end of a full loin, but you can use a full loin. You want to make sure it's boneless though, because what we're going to be doing, you need to have it boneless. Now what we need to do in order to butterfly this, is we're actually going to be...
You heard it, he's going to butterfly it. Oh yeah, that's right. It means taking the knife and just beep, beep, beep. It's my show, it's my show.
First you're going to need a really sharp knife. And be really careful when I say sharp knife is sharp. What we're going to be doing is making kind of an S shape into the pork to make it more flat so we can stuff it inside here. Just cut into it. You're going to want to use your hands a little bit, but try and keep them out of the way of your blade. You're going to be cutting into this so that it kind of pulls back a flap of this. Now you don't want it to go too thin or you're going to have a hole in it, but there's a trick that we can show you that will help out if you do happen to get a hole. And when you get to this part where you got kind of a flap, you're going to go down just a hair. We're going to go right back in the other direction. Now we've got a flat pork loin roast. If you do happen to get a hole, usually it's going to be in one of these two spots where the meat folded open. Just take your knife, cut off a part where it's thicker, take the piece of meat and cover it right over that. Alright, now that we've got a butterfly, we're going to season it up a little bit so we got some flavor in it. So what we need is some garlic and herb seasoning. Now you want to use a sugar or herb-based one, not a salt one, otherwise it's going to be really salty because of the type of cheese we're using. There's a good brand out there. They make a perfect garlic and herb seasoning. Her name is Miss...
No sponsors.
Oh. Okay. She runs fast. And then we're going to want some Gorgonzola cheese.
Gorgonzola cheese, huh?
Gorgonzola cheese.
Look at the size of this thing. Budget!
Yes. But I use this for Gorgonzola cheeseburgers. It's really good. This is a very strong cheese. It's very gourmet. It's great in salads, great to complement meat. It is a blue vein cheese, so it's going to look kind of like blue cheese. It's a little potent.
Oh. Oh.
But we're just going to put that on. This is why you don't want a salt-based seasoning, because this stuff is very salty on its own. Want some more?
No!
After the Gorgonzola cheese, we're going to want some dried fruit. Usually dried apricots works really well, just kind of cut up. Today we're going to use dried cranberries, though. You want to get a nice little layer of this cheese here, making sure not to get too close to the edges, because when we finish this up, it's going to fall out. Another piece?
No, get it away from me.
Just kind of spread them a little random. Try and get them kind of even across the thing, though. And then we've got our vegetable here. I'm going to use some spinach.
Spinach from the spinaccio family. That's right. These pieces of leaves will lie and they grow bigger.
Now this part gets a little tricky because you're going to want to pile it high. Because as the spinach cooks, of course, it's going to shrink down. And the more you get in here, trust me, the better it looks overall. Alright, so we've got our roast here. We've got all the stuff that we're going to be stuffing inside it. Now what we've got to do is make sure it's on the inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to very carefully grab the meat. We're going to pull it up, and we're going to kind of push the spinach towards the middle as we go, and roll. Now you're going to lose your filling, but try and grab it as you go. We're just going to keep slowly twisting, kind of like you're twisting up a sleeping bag. Now what we need to do in order to be able to finish this, of course, is we're going to have to tie it. Now you can get butcher's twine. If you don't have butcher's twine, do not use colored yarn, as some movies we've seen have proven that is not a good idea. But you can get butcher's twine. Usually if you go to your grocery store and speak to your meat cutter, they probably get you a length of it without any charge, especially if you're a frequent customer of theirs. Take your butcher's twine. I'm going to slide it just underneath. You want to have a good enough length to be able to play around with it. You're going to bring this up here, loop the uncut end, or the cut end, sorry, around here. Now this is kind of a tricky thing, because you just kind of got to get used to the movements. Once you get used to the movements, you can do this in your sleep. Once you've got it wrapped around here, you're going to swing your fingers around, grab that loose end here, and pull through. Now we've got a nice little knot here. We just need to cinch it down. Now when you cinch it down, you want to listen, because you're going to hear a little pop. Once you hear that little pop, that means that it's locked in place. And you want to make sure that you get one pretty close to the end, but there. I don't know if you could hear the pop, but there it was. Now the knot's there, it's holding your meat in place. Let's take your sharp knife, cut the string off. Now if you pull too tightly, you just want to give it a quick motion. You'll actually cut into your pork, and we don't want that to happen, because then you'll lose all your stuffing. Now we have our roast, nice and tied, ready to go in the oven.
But as always, we need more seasoning.
Alright, we just take that same type of seasoning, we're going to give it a light sprinkle on the outside, turning it over as you go. Now this part isn't necessary. If you do use a salt-based one, you can just put it on the inside, but it gives it a nice little flavor to it. You're going to want to bake it at 350 degrees, and you want to go about half hour, 25 to 35 minutes per pound at 350 degrees. The weight of the roast itself, not the filling.
Give it to us right.
Just put it in the oven. How long?
Well, this roast was 2 pounds, so we're going to go about an hour and check it, maybe an hour and 15 minutes tops.
Hour, check it, hour, 15 minutes tops. Don't follow our guidelines. Yours is going to weigh different. It's done! It's done! Oh, yeah! And that's all the more there is to it. Look at that. Gorgonzola pork loin, the roast. That's tasty right there. Really tasty, really good. So, if you want to try it out for yourself, head over to my website, invincibleproductions.net. Check out the recipe. Follow along with this video so you can make it yourself. And as always, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Leave me a video response showing me how you made it yourself. And don't forget, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, check this guy out online. And as always, keep on eating.